Winhe Software Engineering Academy. We enable you to thrive in the AI age. Join our experts to get a different learning experience and build yourself to be an expert under our professional guidance. Winhe Software Engineering Academy, the creator of creators.
I am Chamurtha Devaga. I am from Apa.
Kalinoch, Putlam,
Kadutha, Betikala, Kirindala,
Hinigam,
Matala,
Jaffna, God,
As a part of the Bridge Software Engineering Technical Boot Camp, today we organized a workshop on Agile software development to give the students the understanding about the whole software engineering principles based on Agile and roles in Agile. At the same time, the ceremonies that we are using in Agile and how to develop artifacts in Agile. What we did initially, we wanted to give a good understanding to the students what the customer needs, because at the end of the day, customer needs a quality product. So how can we develop a quality product without a quality process? So that's why we need to understand about Agile, because Agile will help developers to develop a product, a project within the budget, within the schedule and with the expected qualities. So we gave them a requirement today. In the morning we started with that, and then we wanted them to analyze it and come up with the product backlog by identifying the user stories, by prioritizing by using Moscow principles. And then they had the spring planning meeting by using all the techniques, planning pokers and understanding the estimation techniques, how to identify the resources, and understood how to create a sprint backlog out of that product backlog with and by considering the priorities of the user stories. After that, they developed it to a certain extent, and then they completed the first day of the sprint. We had a daily scrum meeting also. Then they understood the principles behind the daily scrum meeting and the objectives of the daily scrum meeting, and how important being self-managed and have a cross-functional team in Agile to develop something by using the Agile principles. And we gave them a challenge of building something tallest that they can by using the given set of resources. And the idea behind that is to give them the understanding they need to plan before doing something, because if they don't plan, simply they plan for the failure. And again, they need to understand, if you want to go high and even higher, their basis should be very strong, so that they need to be brilliant with the basics if they want to go high. We basically planned for 2 days for the whole sprint, and then they completed the work, and then we had the sprint review meeting and did a customer demo as well, and finally we had the retrospective session for the sprint, so that the students got the opportunity to understand all the Agile principles, all Agile artifacts like the sprint product backlog, and how to draw the sprint burn down chart, and how to work with the task board in order to manage the whole process of development. At the same time, they had the real-time experience to conduct sprint review meetings, sprint planning meetings and the daily scrum meetings. So hope they got a lot of understanding about Agile processes. At the same time, they had a great day. In the meantime, we had a right brain entertainment session as well during the workshop time. Students really enjoyed by singing songs as teams and individually. This helped a lot to improve their teamwork as well, to do something as a team. So they had a great fun out of that.
Hello guys, good evening. How are you doing today? Today, I think we have lot more people to join. But since we need to start our session at 7 o'clock, we are going to start. So that on behalf of Winhe Software Engineering Academy, let me warmly welcome you all to this webinar from Fresh Grad to Kiwi Pro. The journey starts here. I think when we're analyzing the participants list here, I think most of you are basically are from universities, fresh grads, undergrads, and some people are basically from the industry having 1 to 2 years of experience. Whoever you are, like, what sort of, capacity or the knowledge that you have about these terms called quality engineering, quality assurance testing, you're going to have a lot of understanding today, right? We will see how we can move forward with this with our experts. So let me give you a very quick understanding about what this whole effort is and what is Winhe Software Engineering Academy very quickly within 2 minutes. As a professional and responsible institute, Winhe Software Engineering Academy, we are doing a lot of industry-oriented, practical-based, project-based programs. Not only that, we know that as a responsible and very professional institute, we should make these students understand about what this whole industry is, so that what are their industry vibes time to time. So because we understood the responsibility, we are basically conducting this sort of webinars, and we have been doing this for the last 10 years even. So actually speaking, this is one part of it today to give you more understanding about quality engineering, right? So that most of you, I think we need to thank you as well, because you decided to, spend your busy time period. I know that, Saturday evening is not a very easy time period to, allocate in order to get into a webinar and, and listening to all this. But you decided to, come to this webinar. Definitely that is not a, like, that is one of the best decisions sometimes. This may be the day that, you are basically taking a decision in order to move into this area, even after knowing this from our experts, right? If I set the content to this discussion today, we know that we are in a fast evolving industry. We know that quality engineering has become one of the crucial and very strategic and very impactful career paths it has. So it is not no more about finding bugs, right? It is no more finding bugs. We know that that is a lot more to that. It's about building projects, building systems faster, and then in a smarter way. And with automation, DevOps, AI, and all the other real engineering thinking. So you need to understand how to work in this quality engineering area as well. That's why today we have brought together, we have a powerhouse of panel today. Actually, they are from the quality engineering. They are real experts in quality engineering, working for reputed companies. So they are going to basically educate you, make you understand about this, what is quality engineering and what are the important aspects. If you are a fresh person who is willing to get into this quality engineering, how can you do that? How can you make that decision? And they are going to make you that decision easy, actually speaking. Let me proudly introduce my panel today, right? So I think we need to see the panel better. So you may have seen this same thing earlier as well, like, in our, promotional campaign, the flyer that we shared with you guys. But let me give you a very quick introduction. This is not a very, a very comprehensive, if I am to introduce them in a comprehensive way, I need another 1 hour to do that. I know definitely with all experience and with whatever they have done in the industry and with the companies that they are working for and all these, the certification that they completed. The simple thing that I can say, they are well qualified, well experienced set of quality engineering professionals. But that is the one simple thing that I can tell. And let me introduce Mr. Buddhika Soiza, Head of Competency Excellence, Quality Assurance and Architect at Axiata Digital Labs. And if I tell you a very simple thing about him, he is a seasoned leader in Fuse strategy, automation frameworks, and team transformation. He's really good in that area. At the same time, in large scale agile environments. So that you will basically listen to him and his experience and where he started and all when we are moving forward with the discussion. And secondly, our speaker, Mr. Lahiru Vijayaratna, Head of Quality Engineering at Micro RSG, having tons of experience in quality engineering. If you really look at, known for building quality engineering practices from the ground up and aligning them with the high-speed product delivery. And you should understand at the end of the day, what we are doing is delivering a product to the customer. And we should make this product that is his area. He's really willing to, and he's committed to get the results by applying these things in real world projects. And let me introduce Mr. Pulasti Pereira, again, very well known person in the industry, at the same time, very well experienced and qualified person in the industry as a quality engineer. He is the senior manager at principal architect at quality engineering at Circle. If I tell about him a little, about his the background a little, a technical thought leader in continuous testing, performance engineering, and modern test automation practices. You know that there are a lot of terms in the industry like testing, automated testing, and then quality engineering, quality assurance, and all. Like, I think now we know that there is a big term called AI also, like, affecting all these areas, and you will be able to listen to him talking about these all new modern trends in quality engineering. And I am actually Rasika Alahakon. I'm the CEO of this Winhe Software Engineering Academy. And what we are trying to do at Winhe Software Engineering Academy is we are helping the university students to understand the industry, because that is where you are going to landing at the end of the day after completing your degree programs. So that if you start with the end in your mind, I think it is very important. That's a very crucial thing. Otherwise, without knowing the industry, how can you get into the industry and get experience? In order to get the first job, you need to have the experience. But in order to get the experience, you need to have the first job. So actually, what we are trying to do is that during the time of the graduation or the undergraduate time period, we are trying to give you that maximum level of industry understanding and the experience by conducting industry-oriented, project-based programs. So really speaking, we have a lot of industry experts with us to guide you, mentor you, and it's more than teaching, really speaking. And let me get into this now. I know that you are waiting impatiently to get into and listen to these professionals. At the same time, let me thank these three industry experts here. We know that they are really, really um, busy with all these even weekend, but they accepted our invitation here to participate for this and then sharing their understanding, knowledge, and their experience in their fields, in their field at different levels and at different companies. So that I would like to thank you very much, Lahiru and Budigan Pulasti. Thanks. Thank you very much for joining us today. And without further delaying, let's get started with our first segment. They are going to, share you the real stories, real skills, what QE was, why QE is a game changer now, right? It is a game changer for their career. At the same time, it's going to be game changer for your career as well. Okay. Panel, are we ready? Pulasti, hi, good evening.
Good evening, Rasika. Good evening, team.
Good evening,
Good evening,
Lahiru.
Rasika. Good evening, audience.
Good evening, Buddhika.
Good evening, all.
All right, all right. Thank you very much for joining us. I think most of them are actually undergrads and fresh graduates and very early industry professionals in the sense like, they are having 1 to 2 years of experience, so that I think we can set the stage for my questions by looking at the audience. But all in all, I think all you three gentlemen, I know that you are experts from the industry, right? And but there was a day one in your career in quality engineering, but that may not be the day one of your industry like engagement, but in day one of your quality engineering. Can you tell a little bit of your story about your journey from the beginning and where did you start and your journey of the place that you are currently in now with a little bit of experience? Can we start with Buddhika?
All right. Thanks. I hope you all can hear me. Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So first, I would like to thank you so much for the opportunity to share my story with you. So actually, so if where I can start, like when I was studying my undergraduate in SLIIT, so I felt like I am just passionate in programming. So my dream was to become a software engineer at that time. So actually I worked incredibly hard towards that. I learned software engineering, database management, like the all curricular, and pay more attention on programming, because that's was my dream. But the thing was, when we passing out from university on in 2008 2009 period, so there was the world has faced a global economic crisis due to US some reasons in US government. So it has severely impacted to the IT industry at that time, and companies basically they tend to cut down the resources, cut down the jobs. They spend very little money on the IT projects. So with that, it creates a very tough job market in Sri Lanka as well as other countries as well. So it's really hard for fresh graduate like us at that time. So I remember that I went a lot of interviews. Unfortunately, none of them are worked out at that time. So it's so I mean, after 6 months after I passed out, so I was quite desperate on getting a job, any job at that time. So I got an opportunity through my one of a best friend, and I didn't know that what kind of job that is, but I applied it, and I went to the interviews, and I got through the interviews. So when we assigned to a training program at that time, only I realized that we are learning on quality assurance. At that time, we knew very limited awareness of quality engineering from the university subjects, but we didn't know the depth on quality assurance aspect. So I decided to accept it because I didn't have any choice to go for another job. So my thinking was at that time, I learned the quality engineering the concepts and learn about corporate culture, how it is working, and hopefully I'll find a programming job which I was passionate about. So that was my thinking, right? So luckily, the very first assignment that I got that involves test automation. So as I remember, we had to write scripts through VB scripts. You might know VB scripts. That was kind of more like to JavaScript kind of thing. It's a scripting language which basically converting the manual testing test cases into automated one. So I really enjoyed working in that project, and I had a very excellent team leaders who helped us on that situation. So they show us a path, and they show us opportunities within the QA track, QA field. So they show us basically how valuable it was to have a QA professional in the technical skill with technical skills. So technical skills like programming language, DB database related to database management, working environment, operational environment like Linux, right? So they show us there was really high demand for those skills if a quality engineer has. So after a couple of years later, I got a chance to switch the track to software engineer, but at that time I had become passionate about quality assurance, and I saw the potential it has. So I decided to stay in the QA track. So I started my career as an intern QA in 2009. So I have had an incredible journey from 2029. I have worked for two leading software development and consulting firms, serving many international and local clients. This experience basically exposed me to a wide range of business areas, business domain, technologies, and I have worked on different technology stream, including test automation, performance engineering, QA ops, DevOps. So it's very nice journey. So today I'm proud to be serving in architect role in quality assurance in Nazira Digital Lab. So I continue to truly enjoying this exciting career path. Yeah.
Yeah, Udika, thank you very much for your comprehensive explanation. How you got into this field, like quite different, no? Like starting as a software developer, and didn't anyone tell you? I mean, not to get into this QA field after working as a quality. After working as a developer, and to get into this field again.
Actually, I had a chance, but I saw I saw opportunity in quality assurance if you have some set of special skills.
Yeah.
So that's why I decided to stay in the QA path.
Yeah, I think you have made the right decision there, right? Because
Yeah, yeah. I trust
that,
it.
that's proven now, like, having a lot
Yeah.
of experience and working for these sort of, companies. I think you have made the right decision there to get into this quality assurance or the quality assurance those days, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see how we can differently understand quality assurance and quality engineering when you're moving forward with the discussion. So I want to now get the story of Lahiru. So can you tell us a little bit about, like, how you started your journey in quality engineering?
Yeah, Rasika, thank you very much for having me to discuss this timely manner, this topic. My journey is a bit different to Buddhika because just after my graduation, uh, audience, career I totally changed it to tourism. So I was in tourism industry, right? My
Okay.
whole world is itineraries, hotels, booking, but complaint is there anyway, but as an out software tester, software engineer, still we are getting the complaints, right? So it's a common factor. But other than that, my whole world is related to the uh, um, tourism. After when while I working sometimes day and nights, tourism industry is such a stuck model. So uh, my mindset always, are you really belongs to this field? Right. So after 1 year's time, 1.5 years time, so I pause my career and reflect back what I did, what I gained to my future. So then I thought of, oh, I took a bold decision. No, I should change my career. Where I am in now tourism, I want to change it. So I did some research through my own. At the same time, get some guidance my friends, right? Because my core now is IT. My basic qualification is IT. So I graduate as a BSc degree in IT. So I thought, oh, I bet I go for that one. So I took a bold decision with the decisions, so with the inputs given by my friends and on my research, to I move into the software testing field. So that I'm talking about year 2006, right? So back then, so my impression was, taking a, QA job, right? Just checking a button whether it's a clickable or not, loading a web page fine or not. That what my impression was. But when I joined Virtusa as my first career, then I realized that's not the word, right? I realized that the QA job, initially a tester job, is more than that. Sometimes I feel that we are the quality of, but at the same time, I realize we are the representation of end user's voice. So that's a proud moment. And then while I working in the Kampa right, it was my career start as automation engineer as Buddhika back in 2006, right? With that time the tool called rational robot, then QTP, we have surfed too much on these tools, right? Finally, one day I found a defect, or we call bug, just before the production. Actually, I it's like I remember I save my company in terms of giving that production into that build into the production. It make a huge damage to the company image. So at that day, I feel that I do some bigger job. It make me a big or some thrilling. So it's become some sort of engineering mode, right? So then that's how I start my career. Then with my next move to my next company, uh, I had exposed into large scale system where it's dialogue, right? Then my agile transformation, real time business impact is a totally different domain, different corporate customer. So then I thought of it's something different I should do to go for my next step, right? So where I started my next career change, that is quality engineering into the management track. So where my company give me a lot of experience, a lot of support, where a lot of ups and downs, some mistakes, right? So with that, I am change my career into quality management, right? With today, so we have to with the time limitation. I will keep very short and sweet my journey. Today, I'm happy to say that I am heading the quality engineering team at Micro Research Group, serving my quality engineering experience through the global market and giving my small country make me proud. So that's what my journey, Rasika, as of now.
Yeah, I definitely know that, and I'm really unfair enough. And asking a big question and giving you our time, very little time to answer. I know you have a big story
Yeah.
to tell with all these, enough things that you are having experience. And let me talk to Pulasti now. Pulasti, what was that, the reason that you got into this, particular field called quality engineering? But we know that now you are working for a very reputed company and you are in a big position there. But where was your starting point?
Yeah. First of all, thanks, Rasika, to giving me the opportunity
Yeah.
to give it, I mean, share my experience in this wonderful audience. So, Rasika, actually, so yeah, it's a kind of a yeah. I'll tell, like, once I completed my degree, I applied for the all the available positions. That means I have applied for the associate engineer dev, associate engineer QE, and associate business analyst. So that was the entry point for us. And as soon as I completed my final year exams and the vivas, I remember within that week I got the first interview for the QE. At that time, it's a QA, so from Virtusa. So I had a couple of interviews the same day, and I got the offer, and I was selected to this QA. So that's how I have entered this industry. But be honest, like, I don't want to be, I mean, I didn't expect to be a QA. So my first preference was something else. So, but as I got this opportunity, so and honest, like, when I go into the interview, I didn't know anything about this QA. Even like at that time, I don't think currently also in the university curriculum there is no much modules on QE, but in our time there was nothing. I mean, they're very basic uh, content. So I didn't know anything about this QE. So I have told that to my panel as well, inter panel as well, and they have understood. And by looking at the potential, they have given me the opportunity. So, but at that time, so when I come home and when I tell in to other people like my lecturers and the other my senior colleagues, so they are telling, why you going for the QV? So because at that time I was ending my degree with first class, and so I had good score in all the modules, including the programming modules as well. So actually, they wants me to go for the some other field, but because there was a rumor going on, the automation coming on. So because of the automation, there will be no more QV in the future. So it's a kind of obsolete, getting obsolete near soon. So don't go for that; it will ruin your career. So somehow, so I thought, like, okay, I'll try this out, and I started with my career, and we got some good trainings from Virtusa at that time. I mean, it's a complete training with the program. I mean, with the practical and all. So then I understood, hey, look, this is kind of a very interesting, and this is not that we have learned in the from our university. This is something more practical. So it was interested to me, and I have started with that, and I have started my career on that matter. So while I'm working on this uh, as a QV, so yeah, I was kind of passionate, and I was looking at uh, the better opportunities as well as industry how it's evolving. So I wanted to be a kind of to setting the trend. So because of that, in addition to our day-to-day activities while I'm working, so I was able to publish 3 IEEE papers related to quality engineering and how it can be improve the quality and how it can be effective into quality engineering process in Sri Lanka. And yeah, the three IEEE papers. In addition to that, I was able to, present to one of the biggest international conference called ITC India. So out of 15,000 the papers and the presenters, so we were able to become a top 10. So in 2016. So these kind of achievements, so helped me to grab my, uh, get more exposure. And while participating into these conferences, uh, especially these international conferences, the how they work and what are the new technologies coming on. So this exposure will help us to came and implement in our organization. So it will help us to like grow in our career. And after that, so so far, like I worked in many multinational companies, and so currently I'm in Circles as a senior quality engineering manager, leading global team like my team in India, Pakistan, and Indonesia in different geolocations. So, and in before that, I worked in quality engineering manager at Cisco Labs. So I just wanted to tell Rasika, so even though it started very weird manner, so we were able to successfully survive so far, and I'm very happy about the my journey. Yeah, so that's the my
Definitely.
journey.
Yeah, yeah. Really good. I think most of these are today's participants are from the universities, fresh graduates, undergrads. So that you are basically all you three people told the same thing. Like you can start from anywhere, but if you really want to, you can be a giant in that particular field. How many years of experience that you have in this altogether? If you could ask me,
It's
how many years of
15,
experience that you have altogether?
15 years, Rasika.
15 years. Yeah, I think Rahul also the same, right? You are
My Rasika, I'm going with 19.
19 years being in the quality engineering field. I think we don't need to have any other examples. Buddhika, how many years that you have?
Started in 2009, so I would like to say like 16 years.
Yeah, 16 years, 16 to 15 to 19 to like, I don't think, we need any more, examples to say that, for these fresh graduates, that quality engineering is one of the crucial areas that you need to look at. I know that there are a lot of confusions in this with the head of and the mind of these people. That's why we basically wanted to have this discussion today to sort out most of these, clarifications and questions. And guys, I think now you got an introduction about all these three people here, right? What they said in summary, they started at a very simple point, and sometimes they switch from one area to another area even. But finally, now they are actually giants in their field, so that you also can do that, right? Don't worry about where are you now. You don't know exactly what your best fit job is. Sometimes you may need to get into. I'm not against like you get into quality or other areas like full stack development or UI engineering or whatever. But this also something that's least understood area in the university students. So that the main idea here by organizing this webinar to tell you guys about this field with all these industry experts. And again, basically, if you have any clarification, you can unmute your mic. We are really friendly. I think you can understand that the way we are talking, we are really friendly. You don't need to worry. You can unmute your mic. So if you're not in a position to unmute your mic, I know that Saturday evening you may be in another place and you are joining from your phone. But type your question definitely. I know that with the momentum going now, we know we have a lot of things to discuss, but we will take some of these questions and answer. At the same time, if we don't have time to do that, definitely we will get back to you with our WhatsApp group. so that most of you are there in the WhatsApp group. So we get into that so that you will get your answers for all your questions, right? My next thing, I am basically asking from all you three gentlemen here. Now, in the industry, we have different buzzwords like now the fresh people, the undergrads may be in a bit of a confusion mode because we have something called testing. They are a little bit of like, familiar with that simply because, in the software development life cycle, we have a area called testing. And then we have quality assurance, total quality management. That is not something related to, but quality should be there in all steps. And quality, now we are talking about something called quality engineering. Is it possible for us to give them a little understanding by taking a couple of minutes, the differences of these quality testing to quality assurance to quality engineering? To whom I'm going to put this question?
Yeah, I think I can answer
Thanks
that
for
question.
taking that question.
Yeah, so that's kind of excellent question. For like the especially the undergraduate students, because probably they heard about very little bit of quality assurance, quality engineering, that kind of what are the tasks, what are the scope that those two item has. Yeah, it's a bit confusing for you all. I mean, sometimes for us as well. But so if I tell you a very simple way, so you probably know that SDLC, right, software development lifecycle. So you know that there's a specific the a placeholder. We say that this is testing in a testing phase. So every software you develop, it must go through a comprehensive testing cycle in order to find the defects and improve the quality, right? So if you talk about traditional testing or testing activity, so we are referring it is as a reactive approach. So you need to test, you need to check your software system and detect or find out the issues it has. So if you find out the issue, so basically the development team can fix it, and eventually it will become a very quality software, right? So if the quality aspect doesn't have it within the software, so the client will not be accept it. So that's the normal situation, right? So testing is an activity. Basically, it's a reactive activity. So you need to follow after you get the we usually referred as build. When developer release a software piece to you, so tester needs to test it and find out the defects, right? So that is about what is testing, right? But if we discuss about quality assurance, right, so it's a kind of a process oriented approach. So basically it's very proactive approach, I would say, right? So basically you need to focus on the quality aspect from the starting point of a development, or let's say requirement gathering. From the requirement gathering up until the system is developed, tested, and deployed. So every phase you need to carefully look at the system and how it is developed. And the key focus of quality assurance is we are preventing the defects, right? For the testing, we just finding the defect, but the QA, we are preventing the defects. We are basically try to inject very less defects during the development life cycle. Right? So that is basically the QA. What is QA is, right? So QA activities basically it's defining. We have a set of standards. We have a lot of reviews to do. When the requirement comes, we need to review the requirements. We need to review the source code. We need to review the test cases, right? So there are a lot of reviews happening during the software development lifecycle, and the ultimate goal is to basically we inject very limited defects when it comes to the software testing phase, right? Finally, the quality engineering is kind of a buzzword that we right now we are discussing, right? So it is kind of the proactive and very integrated approach of QA, right? So it consists with engineering aspects, engineering quality, and we are basically when we are developing a product, a software product, and during the development process from the very beginning, so we will include a lot of engineering practices, a lot of integrations with different systems, and make sure the software development, entire software development phase is going smooth and with very good quality, right? So that is the difference and the relation between the testing, the quality assurance, and the quality engineering. I think that's something you could understand.
Yes, I think Butik, you have given a very comprehensive explanation. At least, I mean, with the time given, you gave a good understanding. Pulastio, Lainwa, do you have anything
Yeah,
to for that?
let me add few stuff what Buddhika has mostly covered. But
Yeah.
now, so when I start my career, I said in 2006, the way we start the testing is, we developer do the test development, and it took some period of time, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then the set of build to test it. Right? There is no short term builds, right? Releases basically. So once we development team give us a build, then we start the testing. There is no huge relationship, but we feel that we want to do the testing. That's our job. It's done, right? That's the testing we did it, right? But the world is changed, software field is changed. So at the same time, according to that model, the quality also getting changed. Otherwise, we are going to obsolete, right? Now, what we really experience is now we do all the stuff, meaning development, requirement to development to quality, everything is within a 2 weeks time. That's we call as a agile, right? So probably my lovely audience also had these words in the in terminologies, right? So why we do this such a model as to release a product within a 2 weeks time because we need the pressure from the customers, clients, right? So then we have to adjust it, right? We want to adjust it. At the same time, go to market strategy also pushing us, we need to do that. So with that, we have to do some sort of API to API talks, integrations. There are a hell of things comes in, right? At the same time, DevOps, right? Agile concept, everything comes in. Now with that, we are changing. So how do we change it? Right? Changing means we need to give the quality delivery, quality product to our end user. That's what our job is, right? So then so my model is the quality engineering is a mindset, right? It's a mindset. It's not a job, guys. It's a mindset, right? You need to think of engineering mindset. What's engineering? Engineering is set of process, right? Even you are building a house, your own house or any other construction, you got to start some engineering model, implementing that part, and at the time you are enjoying with the result. So that's engineering. At the same time, even quality comes with some engineering concepts, right? So people saying that now the shift left technology, right? Shift left techniques. Basically, you start your testing from the initial part of the product life cycle, meaning when the requirements comes in, we join the requirement team and do some requirement grooming. We give our feedbacks, right? So that's how quality engineering comes to play. With that, we need to adjust with industry jargons, industry trends where automations comes in, performance comes in, where we need to do our scripting part, right? Sometimes we have to go for JavaScripting part as well. So this is how uh, the quality engineering come to this world. This is what my explanation adding to the Buddhika's very comprehensive addition.
Yeah, Lahul, thank you very much. I think with that answer, I'm really happy because now you mentioned about all the other areas also. You need to know programming, agile, and JavaScript. I heard some other technical stuff as well. Like, sometimes, some people think that you are a quality engineer, so that we are a quality engineer, so that why do we need to understand programming, JavaScript, and agile and all this? But in the industry, there is no difference. Like, that multidisciplinary level of understanding about all these aspects is really important in order to be an expert in quality engineering even. So all in all, I think the fresh graduates or the undergraduates or whoever they are in the as the participants, I think they got that understanding about what these differences, quality assurance to quality engineering to, and sometimes in the future you may have another we don't know, but I think this is what is all about, like quality engineering, right? Okay. Now, as you know, right, since I'm involving in university lecturing, most of the time I'm there with these kids and teaching different subjects to them. Generally, they have thought in their mind that QA is not a very good career path and very limited, and the scope is very less, and there is no proper recognition for this. During the university career, they don't have a chance of, like getting a good awareness about this, right? They have a bit of a reluctant mindset in order to get into this kidney field. But I think this is not a very big question that I need to ask, even because you have set all the examples in your first description of you, like you started from degrees to different areas and got into the kiwi field, and now they are in more than 15 years if you take all these people, all three of you, and you are in managerial positions now. So that I think in that you have already set the example. But apart of that, if we want to give a little advice to these people to get into quality engineering and understand it as a good career path for them to start with, do you have any idea to?
Yeah, let me go first, Rasika.
Yeah, Balaji, thank you. Thanks for taking the question.
Yeah. So, so basically, like, if you guys, so I don't know what the exact audience. So let's say, if you guys not in the final year, like you're about to start your final year projects. So if you are willing to start as a quality engineering track, so I would advise, please focus more on the quality engineering concepts in your final year project, because final year project is the main evaluation criteria. Like if you go into the industry, like since after you go into the industry as a fresh grad, so it can be dev, QE, or any other thing. So you don't have any experience. So as a interview panelist, also they know, like, this you got. I mean, fresh graduates doesn't have any experience. So how they going to evaluate? So they're going to evaluate the competencies by looking at your final year project and the some of the modules. But since if you give more focus into the quality engineering aspects and the principles when you develop in your final year project, so you can highlight those things when you are in interview. So that's a one aspect you can work on. So Rasik has pointed out some other point, which is like, there is a myths going on, like if we go in for the QA, we don't need to know any programming languages or any other technical competencies. It's wrong. So all, like I would say, like 10-15 years back, maybe it's a chance because there are some manual work done by the QBs, like letter testing, something like that. But it's no more longer valid. So now, so the QB engineer is working with a definitely bit of automation and some of the non-functional testing as well. Will touch base those things later, but it required some sort of technical knowledge. So you need to like focus on the modules in your program, especially when you're before going into the interview. So technical aspects and the thought process. In addition to that, analytical skills like in the this when you enter into the industry, since there is no previous experience, some of the analytical questions also will be asked. So just because we need to identify the right candidate who can work in the challenging environment, because in software industry or any of the industry, so our environment is very dynamic. We are getting different challenges day to day. So we have to come up with a solution for that. So to overcome, we need to, I mean, we are evaluating, we are checking the analytical skills of the students. So, and your attitude. So you need to show the correct attitude to your interview panelist, because it's a kind of a never give up attitude you need to showcase, and it's a kind of a good attitude you need to showcase. So these are the few main points that I need to address. There are many aspects that we need to look at. I think Lahiru and Buddhik also add if I'm missing anything, Rasiku.
Yeah.
Anything?
Yep, I'll add few stuff at what Pula has done cover. So basically now, yes, simply myth, Rasika, if anybody asks you to not to, you don't have a career within the quality engineering track, it's a simply myth, right? Don't even, if you heard it, move out to the other eye, right? That's the model, right? If not, Pulasti, Buddhika, myself, we are not in this industry. We are being into more than 15 average. At the same time, the colleagues who have joined this industry with us, they are still with us in the same field in the different companies. They are heading the QEs. So career is very crystal clear, guys. Right? Don't worry, single doubt on your minds. If anybody interested, join the QA path, right? But it has changed. That you have to understand. It has changed the way we have started in back in 2006, and now it's in 2025. It has a we saw this change. So being a QA engineer, right, you need to have a good mindset at the time how you change or adjust your company need, right, how you give the constructive feedback to your development team. That mindset is pretty much important. And the next thing, so QA quality engineering team is an independent team of any company, right? They do have right, they do have power to go or no go decisions where simply even sometimes even project manager can't do that, because they are the people who they are the gatekeepers, they are the voice of the end users who give the directions. Don't go with this release with the production, it makes some bugs in the production. We have that power, right? In that case, I'm saying that you have a career path, as well as you have good responsibility and you have prestige. You have to earn that prestige, right? Being in this industry, we have earned that prestige. Pulasti, Buddhika, myself, and all the colleagues who are in our field, we earn that prestige. That's why we are here. So don't worry about that. I know there's a myth saying, right? We call Karapincha theory, right? That means everybody agreed that we are the people give the essence to the product, right? But curry leaves makes when you're preparing a curry, the curry leaves give the real essence, the smell, right? Power. Sometimes it makes a medicine as well. But when you're eating it, when the essence is grabbed it, sometimes people are throw it away. That's what we carbon theory. So same theory applied in few years back when we start our career. So once the QA done their job, there's no point of having this. Now it has been changed, guys. That's why quality engineering comes in. I'm connecting the dots. That's why quality engineering comes in. We are from the beginning. Initially, at the time we are joining the industry, we are not part of the requirement gathering phase. Now it's totally changed. We are in the part of the quality engineering, requirement gathering phase. Requirement grooming is sometimes done by quality engineers. We give the feedbacks because we are the bridge between the requirement gathering, business analysis. We are the bridge between the development team. We are the bridge between the client. We have holistic view, right? Nobody can do that, right? You talk about your friends who are in the development team. They're totally focused on their development logical stuff. That's fine, but we can't do that. Whatever the day development team does, we need to connect with the. Is it the client expected? Is it the business requirement is given? You need to connect all the stuff. That's what I said holistically. Without having that sense, you can't be in this industry. Then you will be obsolete. That's why I'm saying from the beginning, being a quality engineer, you need to be flexible, you need to adjust. Right. So next thing. So being in this career, if you see that people who have come to some sort of a career path, they have changed as a delivery manager. Quality engineering persons, let as a quality engineer lead, change to delivery managers. Right? Take example of Chandra Singh, who the person who give the real values to the quality engineering field was in Pertusa. Now he's running his own business with the CEO, that mindset. How quality engineers do the business. Right? If they don't have a holistic view, right? People who are in the quality engineering field become program managers, delivery managers, running the business. So in that case, if somebody's have an idea to run their own business, join the quality in the software field, join the quality engineering field, get the values. Then you will be the get the essence of these all stacks, and finally you might be a good entrepreneur, right? So I'm saying that I'm not saying developers can't do that, can do, BA can do, but I'm challenging to the myths, right? Well, the engineers can do that, right? So that's the feedback from my side, Rasika.
Yeah, thank you very much. That is very comprehensive, and I think you gave a lot of advices. Because if I get a little point that Pulasti explained, apply the concepts of quality engineering in their final year projects. That is really important because most of the time we know that these people, what they do is when they want to test the system, they will come up with some sort of test cases and put yes, 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 no, no, and we discuss with the quality engineering team, and the second time we corrected it and put yes. And then that is basically a test document only. And now we know that I think it is all right to say this in a public forum. Like you are using ChatGPT, the people, and get all these, tests and everything done without even looking at the requirements doc. You input the requirements doc and get all test cases, and that's how you do the testing. But what is the industry and the university? What's the difference between these two always? Industry is a place, or else we can start with a university. University is the place that you need to know all the concepts. These are the things, basics. And then you need to understand how to apply them in university level projects in a very small scale. And sometimes, when you are in the university, you might think that, the projects you are getting are really massive or very, very difficult. But really speaking, when you get into the industrial, you will understand what we did in the university. So that industry linked with the industry is a massive place where you can apply the concepts that you studied in the university in a massive way, actually, the basic concepts. But you should know the concept, understand the concept, and you should understand how to apply them in a mini scale projects. And then that is the industry is actually an extension to that. So that I think with Pulasti's uh, explanation, he gave you a very good idea. So start with that. You don't need to be a quality engineer later on. That's a different story, but start with. So since it is one of the core major stage in software development life cycle. And with Lahiru's explanation, really look at it. You can be anybody. You start with a quality engineer, you can be end of the day, like you can be a CEO of a company, you can be a delivery head, you can be project manager, see whoever it is. So that there is nothing that you have you have a big myth in your head. Sometimes you start with a quality engineer, you have to test all the time that you have there in the industry, in your next entire life. But that is a myth again. I think those two are the summing up points from my side. And now I know we have already now spoken about all the skills that they need to have. They need to have a good attitude towards this, at the same time, a mindset. Quality engineering is a mindset. That's what the very good point came out with the discussion. But since all you people, three people are basically doing your, I mean, the recruiting process. You are heavily involving in the recruiting process. Sometimes, you might be the people who are making the final decision to take a person or not. What is that we have to say to these fresh people here, graduates and undergraduates, um, about the different areas? Like, we know that there is something called performance engineering and automation, API testing, and all these, different buzzwords in the industry. At the same time, what sort of skills? I think we have already discussed this question, but in terms of soft or the power skills, in terms of technical skills, and in order to survive in these, different areas in quality engineering, uh, how can they basically start with, or the during the university career, how can they start with these, inculcating these skills into their career path? Anybody can take that question? If I ask you, let me put that question in a small, in a very simple way. If you look at two very important soft skills from this undergraduate level, what are those two?
Right.
From
So
your
I'll take the question.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So you're asking the two most important soft skills that
Yes.
as fresh graduate who are looking to into the industry, right? Yes. I'd say from my experience, when I have interviewed a lot of fresh graduates very recently. So my perspective is basically the attitude is the most important aspect. If you're hiring, if we hiring a new fresh graduates to our company, right? The attitude means that the engineer or the graduate should have exposed to anything can do attitude is one of the key aspect that we are looking at. That means even though the engineer or the person, the fresh graduate doesn't know about thing that we answer, right? He should have a passionate to basically observe or search the terms, search how it is doing. So that kind of attitude is really required for new graduate. Otherwise, because as Pulasti mentioned, this industry is very dynamic. We don't know what will happen to tomorrow, next week, or next month. So we should have ready ourselves to absorb those challenges. Basically, it's a challenge. So the fresh graduates needs that attitude to basically explore, search it, and grab the knowledge, and they would be able to apply the knowledge into a real problem. So that's how the solution, smart solution comes out. So that's the one thing. The second thing that basically the graduate should come out from the mind, say that some silos, something like I cannot do that part, I cannot do this part, something like that. So this industry converting becoming a people who has multi-talented, multi-skills, right? So early when we are starting our career, so the testers would have only should have skills like understand the requirement, write the test case, and execute. But it is converting into different areas like test automation, performance, the evolution of the mobile. So the mobile testing become kind of very common thing right now. So a lot of people developing the mobile devices, mobile labs. So we have that. So if you don't know how to test the mobile, so basically, so we need to search it. We need to ask. We need to ask from experts. We need to get. We need to read the documentation, right? So we should have kind of multi skill person. So that's the key things that we are looking at when we are hiring fresh graduates.
Yeah, Rasika,
Okay.
let me add a little bit to Buddhika.
Yes, Tulasi, before starting your answer, I think if you can basically explain a little bit of performance testing and automation, what those areas are also, and having understanding as even a fresh graduate to a certain extent, how important it is to get into the industry as a fresh, maybe intern or maybe a fresh graduate. Thanks.
Yeah, okay. So the test automation and the performance is a kind of two different tests that we mostly follow in the industry. So test automation, so I believe like all of you guys know what's test automation, but let's say how as a fresh grads or the university students, how we can get an advantage on this test automation and all is one thing is if we can, let's say if the situation is like 10 years back, you don't need to know the automation if it goes to the any interview like as a fresh grad. Even like last 5 years or 5 to 6 years also, it's I mean the students can survive, and once they goes to the interview and once they enter to the industry, they can learn it and they can become automation expert or the like automation engineer. So but what we see currently is there is a huge demand and the competition to get into the industry. So we can see in the recent past interviews that we have conducted with the students, we can see some of them are like done their homework. That means they have self-learned maybe, or they have, uh, different into the different courses in the sense like they are freely available courses in the internet, and they know the basics about this test automation, how to automate. Maybe it's not the 100% correct way of doing that, but they know something. And so automation can be divided into mainly two parts: UI automation and the API automation. So let's say the easiest way is the UI automations. Let's say if some fresh grad come to interview and say, I have done self-study on this specific area, and I know these things, how to do that. So we will ask some basic questions on that area, and definitely it will be added advantage. There's a high possibility if this particular person can be selected from the interview, because we know in the university there is no automation, there is no performance, even like there's a very basic knowledge given in your curriculum into the QV. So everyone knows. So our baseline set for the analytical skills and what are the things that I have explained previously. But if someone comes and tell, hey, I know these things, or I have self-studies, so we know this particular person is like to come to the industry and he has done. So we're trying to give more opportunity to this particular person. So I believe since you guys also joined for this session because you guys interested and you guys want to enter the industry. So one advice I can give is spend some time and start looking on this and learn something specifically on this automation, as it's a kind of a core. I would say currently there is no manual testers. There can be very less, but when you go to the industry, it's a kind of a manual plus automation. There can be some situation 100% automation, but majority of them are like manual plus automation. So you can, I mean, since you guys know the basics, the automation built from the basic double OP concepts and the basics of the programming language. So since you guys know these things from the university, you can easily learn. And if you spend some time on this, you can learn it. And if it goes to the performance engineering, it's called non-functional testing. There are different types of performance tests and the different types of non-functional tests like security, observability, compatibility likewise. So performance test, again, it's a kind of a niche area and the specialized area. So if someone interested on that, if someone can learn basics and the how to do what are the different types of performance tests, why it's required, why it needs to be tested, these things. So if you can understand the basics on that, and if you can elaborate in your interview, so it will be really good chance to get selected. So yeah, that's the main 2 points I want to highlight, Rasika. In addition to that, if I
Yeah.
add to the previous question, so you might have a question like, uh, Buddhika has explained what are the soft skills they are looking at. I mean, everyone, we also looking at those soft skills. So how we evaluate it? Because we are not asking what's your strengths, weaknesses. So it's just a common answer. I mean, common question that we are asking at the later. But how we really evaluate? So we will ask some questions on, uh, let's say it can be a small programming. It's a small logic to implement in your interview. So sometimes we know it's a bit difficult for you. Maybe like we will question back, optimize the code a little bit. Maybe like we know it's a difficult for you, but let's say if we are trying it in a different manner, rather telling, hey, I don't know. So I know only this thing. So rather telling that, if we can try it, even if you fail, we know you are the person, something, have the attitude of somehow I'm doing it, I'm trying it, something like that. So that attitude that you can showcase to your panel, and how there can be questions can be asked like how to test a pen, how to test a something like that. I mean, people not asking the complex application or architectural thing. So people ask simple questions like this. So you have to correlate all these aspects that we have discussed. You are never give up attitude, as well as different types of tests. Let's say uh, uh, how they measure the performance of the pen. Likewise, so if someone asks how we're going to test thousands of pen at once, so it will take 5 minutes to test one pen. How we going to manage your time? So these are the things people will, I mean, the interview panel will be asked. So, but again, thought process that we are expecting is the automation. You have to correlate the automation in there. You can, if you can tell, you don't need to explain the automation concept. You can tell like if we can automate this and test it, we will be able to do it faster. Something like that. In addition to that, if we know the automation concepts and the performance concept, definitely it will be added advantage. Yeah, Rasika, that's all I wanted to highlight.
Yeah, I think it's a very comprehensive explanation. Like, I think fresh graduate can take a lot of insights from that, the things shared by Lahiru, Buddhika, and Pulasti. And finally, things like we know there is something called full stack development. But is QA also a full stack? We have something called full stack QA. I haven't heard that term earlier, But what I felt, when I was listening to you all guys, there is something called full stack QA. You have to learn a lot of skills, a lot of technical skills, soft skills, your mindset, and you should know the programming languages and other stuff. Like I don't mean that you need to know programming like a full stack developer, but to a certain extent you know that it's a complete combination. I think of all these areas if you want to be successful, truly successful in this field.
Yeah, absolutely correct, Rasika. Because
Yeah,
even though like it's not having the the word called full stack QA engineer. So
Yeah.
majority of the successor roles, if you can see, they are full stack. I mean, in the sense they have to know the QB process. That means manual Q, I mean QB concepts and test automation and building the frameworks and performance engineering, maybe a little bit of security. So we can see many of it's not one or two in the industry. Many of the successful roles, I mean the key people know everything. So they can be specialized on one area later on, but the base is common for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we have been discussing about
Yeah,
more.
Rasika, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
I
that's okay,
think,
Ruby. Yeah, sure.
yeah, so probably you may heard about a term called SDET, which is stands for Software Development Engineering in Test. So that is we consider as a full stack in QA. So SDET engineer, basically the engineer should have a very thorough QA plus dev plus operations. So a lot of knowledge that should have in that that role.
Thank you very much, Udvika, adding that factor also into this. I think those fresh graduates now you have a second. They should have a second thought of like definitely maybe the first thought. I mean, to have a little understanding about this field, like how we can be successful within quality engineering. And since we are basically like spent a lot of time now, I have one final question from my side, and I got a couple of questions from the audience as well. But as we understood, like it is not I mean possible for us to entertain all the questions from all all the questions from the audience. But let me take a couple of questions. But before getting to that, if you ask from anybody who is now there in the industry or maybe the universities, I would say universities, the most common buzzword is AI, artificial intelligence. What is going to happen with this involvement of artificial intelligence? Am I going to lose my job with that? And how we can survive or even thrive in this artificial intelligence age? So if you look at what sort of effect do you have in with this artificial intelligence to the field called quality engineering? Do you think any problem, or how these fresh people can survive? I think I'm pointing that question to Pulasti.
Yeah, I'll start with that, Rasika. So, Rasika, it's a kind of a very good question. I think I believe like most of the students, not only students, everyone has this question, even the people who are in the industry as well. So, before going to this AI, I just wanted to highlight the very initial the answer that I have given. Like when I joined into the QB industry, what was the perception because of the automation? Because automation came. I mean, it was evolving in that time, and it's a clear cut vision. The companies invested on the automation. And it was like when it comes to automation, you can reduce like 50% of resources, 60% of resources. That's how the budget has been done. So still, so QA is existing. So, but what happened is, so we have to adjust to the situation, and we have to learn these new things, and we have to convert ourselves into a kind of a QA engineer who has the skills of automating as well. So that's how the QA has been survived, and QA has been more precise in the industry. So how this can be happen with the AI? So this AI is not only for the QA, it's for the everywhere. So I would say it will impact to not only software engineering, any other industry as well. So within the software industry as well, it is not only for the QA, It is common for the BA, program managers, and the developers, everyone. So I believe, so currently also in our companies, so we are investing on the AI, leveraging AI into our projects, our processes to increase our efficiency. So QB also, we are actively working on that, especially the automation, increase our pass rates, maintaining the reports, those things. Now it's AI driven solutions are there, and it's more to come. And we are doing the POCs and like trying to leverage much as possible into our day-to-day processes. So that means our efficiency will be go high, and as a quality engineering professionals, we need to upskill ourselves. So knowing the basics, and we have to upskill, we have to know how to use them in a smart manner. So I'll take a simple example. So let's say if I'm a student, I am using some AI tool, let's say ChatGPT for example. So I'm using this for every my assignment. I mean, if you can give the question, they will give a more, I mean, very accurate answer. So this is a known fact. I mean, we can do it in our day-to-day activities as well. But thing is, we need to know the basics first. So then whenever it comes, we have to adapt. We have to know how to use this, and we have to apply this. So QB will be there, but after a few years, the role that we are playing can be different. So exactly, I mean, I'm not in a position to tell what will be the change, because we don't know what will happen in next 5 years. But definitely with this AI, the role that we are playing will be different. So the kind of, since this is the young students or the young generation, I want to especially highlight, when you guys using this, just think about how it can be applied in the real world as well. So then you can get advantages of them rather just blindly use them. So use AI as a tool which is helping to you, and get a good understanding on how to use this in your day-to-day activities rather just getting answers from them. So we have to live it there. We can't obsolete that. We have to live with AI. So that's how I believe, Rasika, it will come into next 3 years. So as a QV, we have to use this, and we have to applicability will be more higher than current. Yeah, but it will be remain. I don't think it will obsolete, Rasika, for sure.
Yeah. Nahiru, do you have anything to add? A little bit at least.
Well, actually, Kula rightly said. Now, through our this journey, I mean, the industry of software, so we have seen different waves, right? Technology waves, right? In terms of our field. Now, one is automation wave, as we all discussed, started somewhere around 2006, and at that time, so we have to live with it. Without adapting to the software automation wave, then we will be obsolete. That's what Fula exactly explained. Now then is agile wave. Different waves comes in through that, my 15 to 19 years experience. Now is this wave is AI wave. Right? So my message to young generation, so there will be another wave in next 1 year, 2 years. We can't exactly predict it. But now take it as a wave, wave in the beach, wave in the sea. If you know the art of surfing, the surfing board take you to the thrilling point. Enjoy. You will enjoy your job. You will enjoy your surfing, right? So AI again is a take it's a wave. You need to have a control. You need to sharp how you handle your uh, surfing board. If you know that, that is to handling means you know basics of QA, right? Without having that initial A, right, of the surfing, you can't be a world reputed surfing person. Likewise, in the industry, quality engineering industry, the waves comes, let them to come, but keep understanding the basics. What is testing? What is quality engineering? As Buddha rightly explained, right? So because there's a day comes in somebody, you maybe your subordinate, use the one of the AI tool and develop it, but you need to have the basic sense of reviewing it, right? Our job is right now is whatever that comes in, we need to review it. If you ask some AI tool to develop automation framework, he will do it easily. If you ask, write the test case, manual test case into the automation, he will do that. But let's assume in the production area, if some defects comes in, bugs comes in, if you have to fix it immediately, can you do it? The person cannot do it because he doesn't have the basics. He don't know where the framework comes in, where the object repository comes in, where the library fields comes in. So, guys, never miss the basics. Start basics. Then, as Pulasti Buddhika said, then add the toppings, AI, automation, performance. Then definitely it will make you a world reputed quality engineering person. That's the message I want to give it.
Thank you
Rasika,
very much.
sorry for this one. So one quick thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So just wanted to I will not take 1 minute. So
Yeah.
so don't I just want to pass, don't be scared for AI. So because this will, so even like I mean think this will be a big wave. So yes, it's a big wave definitely, but it's common for every industry. So just think about like 5-10 years back. So they are the highly paid professionals who were in the cameramans, like in the films, the who recording from the helicopters and all, right? So what happened to them now? So there is no one, that role is no longer there. So it is done by drones. So it simply
Yeah.
happened for any industry. So only thing is like we have to adjust, and when the things coming on, so we have to adjust, and we have to play our game. So that's all.
Yeah, Tulasi, thank you very much pointing out that very important point as well. I think all in all, what we need to understand, AI is a tool, nothing else, and it's another vibe or maybe a wave, so that we should not afraid of. But in order to survive, you need to be brilliant with your basics. You know your basics and how to use AI to work with it. That's it. So that you have to change in your mindset, have to change. But at the end of the day, if you know your basics, you don't need to worry. Because I can remember we did a lot of projects like by using we did one project to Malaysian Telecom early. I can't remember even the time. And those days also I can remember we did UML diagrams and all. And I'm teaching UML diagrams still in the degree programs. Basics. You need to have it. And if you know the basics, I think you don't need to be afraid of like any technology coming into the scene, but you need to adapt. If you know the basics and if you know how to apply them and how to adapt, I think survival is not a big problem in the industry. And again, you need to understand how to solve problems, like coming up with problems by using these technologies available, right? I think as a fresh graduate, that is the mindset that you need to have now, knowing all these basic technical areas, soft skills, AI, how to apply to solve a problem finally at the end of the day, right? Okay, with that question, I think I'm not going to basically bother this uh, panel here because they have spoken a lot of things. Uh, let me have a little look at the questions. Okay, I think with the time, I'm going to basically not going to entertain all the questions here, but definitely whatever the questions that we have in the list, definitely we are going to send the answers to the discussions or maybe voice cuts, right, to our WhatsApp group. So that please join to that as well. I have sent, I think we have sent you a link for that. Or You can basically get that information from one of your friends even. So that we are going to answer all these questions, don't worry. And if you have any questions, just put it in the chat. We are going to definitely answer, right? I'm going to take a couple of questions. I think that can be very important for all the people here, right? Now we have a mindset here, like let's say for example, I'm going to be a full stack developer. What is that point that we are learning quality engineering? What is that, understanding that we need to have in quality engineering? Do we really need it as a professional in the other areas? So that is one of the questions that one person is asking. What do you think about it? Who is going to take that question?
I'll take it. Asika.
Yeah, Ludwika.
Right. So again, it's a interesting question. So a while ago I explained what's the differences between testing, quality assurance, and quality engineering, right? So in quality engineering and quality assurance, basically what we are expecting is to preventing issues into the software product that we are developing, right? So if you are really looking for full stack software engineering, so you have a part in a job role to make the system develop in the quality aspect, right? So the quality is inbuilt. So even though you are a developer, even though you are BA, so that quality aspect is comes from the beginning. So if you are full stack, if you are going to be a full stack software engineer, right? So you need to make your code quality. You need to add unit testing. You need to increase the unit testing coverage to minimize the code breaks. So that aspect is always there. So you can't be avoided from quality aspect, even though you are going to be a full stack software engineer.
Yeah, actually speaking, it is again what Bhupika and Purasti and Lahiru said, it is a mindset. Like I think
It's a
it
mindset.
should be an engineering mindset. I think anybody who is doing software engineering, we should understand and we should accept the fact that this quality engineering is a part of it. It's a one big part of it. You can't get out like, you can't think of that it is something a part of software engineering. So that every software engineer should have that mindset, quality mindset. I think that is not an option. So that I
Yes.
think we have given a good answer for that question. Like it is anybody who is in the software engineering field. It is not only for software engineering, for anything. I personally understood that if we want to do something in quality, we need to walk some extra miles. I mean, we have to put not some like a lot of effort into that, but that we have to because ultimately, if we want to deliver a quality product to the customer, we all people in the whole team or maybe in that context should have that quality mindset. So irrespective of the role they are playing.
Correct.
And this is the final question I'm going to get so that time all time limitations that we have is a final question. Now I'm basically rewording this question asked by another other participant. So, as Pulasti said earlier, we know that so in university curriculums, we don't have this into very deep extent. Now, he's asking, how can we get that understanding? Whether do we have any other ways of doing any certifications available in the industry for DevOps and Java, .NET? We have a lot of other certifications. Do we have something like that? We know that there is something called ISTQB certifications, but most of the students, they think that they can get all these certifications and do those certifications with the experience. Do we have anything like any certifications we can do, any extra in order to get that extra knowledge? Do you have something, some avenues like that during their degree career?
Yeah, it's a really good question, Rasika. So yeah, if I mean, for the students, if you're interested, what you can I can strongly suggest is by looking at the ISTQB Foundation tester exam, which is kind of a it's called CTFL. If you can search it, ISTQB Sri Lankan ISTQB exams, it says CTFL ISTQB Foundation level exam. So it's a kind of a they have a syllabus and it's very straightforward, and you can get enough materials from the internet, and there can be some service providers as well. So try to get it those materials, and if any support or if any courses are there, I mean, they are available in the industry, I mean the educational industry. Just try to focus and get it done. I mean, in the sense, this ISTQB Foundation exam. So definitely it will be a good value addition. And since this, I mean, quality assurance or the quality engineering is not a part of your degree program, this is a kind of a very good foundation for you all to start up with. And other thing is, Rasika, and you also like involved in academic level. And the students, for the students, what you guys can do is you can work with the universities and talk to your lecturers and try to get some industry experts into our universities and get some workshops done in your universities. So it will give a more practical way of knowledge to you guys how the actual industry is working on. So how this quality assurance, the quality engineering is actually practicing. So there are two ways I can see. One is uh, doing this certification. So I'll recommend to do ISTQB certification because we ask when it's come to the industry also, you will get asked to do these things. So in some of the organizations, they are practicing 100% ISTQB certified testers in their organization. So if you join for such organization, you will get a goal like within first year or like before become a permanent employee, you need to complete the ISTQB. So there are some organizations that follow that rule, kind of a rule. So just try to, so as I mentioned, like if we can, while you're studying automation performance as a homework to preparing into your internships and the to start your career, this is something else that you can work on, get this certification. So there are many other certifications as well, but this is a kind of a really good, valuable certification you can start with.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pulasti, for the advice as well. Lahiru, Buddhika, do you have anything to add? I know that you all are certified people in the industry. You've got a lot of certifications done and other additional qualifications. We know that. So that what sort of advice you can give the fresh people during the university career, how they can focus on these things.
Yeah, I think what Pulasti said is correct because we also looking at the fresh graduates who has that certification if they can, because it's I mean that's the first step, because if you take ISTQB, that's a international body, it has several examinations to pass, but the entry criteria is to take other examination or other certification is that so you need to complete the CTFL, the foundation course. So that's the entry requirement for others. So I always recommend if you are fresh graduates looking for opportunity, so just equip with those certification. Plus there are some entry level certification for specific field like the software. I mean the security testing. We have like ethical hacking, certified ethical hacking. The training, so it has fundamental level certification, so you can take it. And yeah, like the programming also, like Java, the Oracle certifications. So there are a set of fundamental level certification. So if you can do it or can complete, so that would be added advantage to your CV.
Yeah, I think yeah, during the university time, even you can get into
Yeah.
such certifications and focus on this QV and to be prepared when you are getting into even the internship or maybe the first job as a fresh graduate. Lahiru, do you have anything to add? We can basically take this as the summing up round as well. One
Well,
final
yeah,
advice
well,
to these
so
people very quickly.
adding few stuff now, certification, everything is, I think, completed Buddhika and Pulasti. So my just a guidance from to the fresh graduate. Now, even though you had certifications, some YouTube or any other courses experience, right? So you go interview, right? As Pulastik rightly explained, you need to showcase that you are interested into the this field. That's the first thing we are looking at when you're facing for the intake, right? So, and at the same time, you have to use the buzzword or whatever the terminology is that industry has used, right? If you come to performance test, you have used TPS, throughput, you have just tell that implies that influencers you have done some sort of a homework before coming to the interview. That's the basically interview part. Right, then when you join into the company as an intern or associate engineer, right? Sometimes, if you are lucky, right? You get the opportunity to start from the beginning, from the day one as a technical perspective. But sometimes there are companies, right? You can't exactly 100% go into the tech side because according to the client requirement, you have to start from the manual testing part as well. But it doesn't mean the 100% manual, as Pula said, right? But you should not worry about that, right? This is a guidance, right? So then you know the basic of automation, you know the basic of performance that you have done home as a homework. So you took extra mile, extra commitment, right? Take few APIs and automate. Few text UIs and try to automate it, right? Do some JMeter description, try to do the performance script. Then take this all scripts and results and showcase your leads or the, who you report. So you impress that. At the same time, you getting values to yourself, right? This is how you need to adapt it to the culture of software, right? If you feel that no, I got to this work and I done, so I'm going home, this won't survive, right? This won't survive, right? So again, I'm repeating you, take this advantage. If you get the internship, take it maximum, right? Don't stick to the things you are asked to do, but give the additions what you have done in your university or in your homeworks as your experience. Add those experience to their total career, right? That's what I'm taking as a final guidelines to my fresh graduates.
Yeah, I'm actually going through the question list here, but I don't think we have time to entertain any of these other questions since we have spent I think almost 1.5, a little more than 1.5 hours right here. Yes, I think what we were trying to do was to give these fresh graduates and undergraduates who are looking for internships and looking to get into this quality engineering. We know that there's very less awareness in this in the industry. Sorry, in the university level. So that the real idea behind that is to educate or making that awareness among these university students about this quality engineering field, which I think for my eyes uh, this is a very useful and successful webinar because we discussed a lot of things starting from your career and how you got into this field and your experience and different areas of testing. It is not a simple thing, just like full stack development, you have quality engineering and full stack quality engineering. And it is a mindset that all you need to have at the same time, different tips and tricks for the interviews. Start your quality engineering career during the university time. Apply, your quality engineering into your projects. At the same time, look at the certifications and other ways of, like, getting understand about this quality engineering. I think it's tons of insights that you gained during this. And it's really happy for for us as a responsible institute, Winhe Software Engineering Academy, to power this discussion today and this webinar, and inviting all these different, the students from different universities. I saw in the list we had a lot of state universities and private university study students here. I think you are the core part, actually speaking. So thank you very much for joining this. I know that Saturday evening, 7 o'clock is we know that, it's a very hard time to, dedicate time for something like this, but we know that you are truly dedicated to this quality engineering field, those who participated here as participants. That's really, really appreciate. We really appreciate you all guys for participating in this. And I know that you asked some of the other questions. Definitely you will get answers for these questions. And I need to thank the panelists, Pulasti, Lahiru, Buddhika. Thank you so much. You are basically like sharing your all experiences to these fresh people. I think their day one maybe today, right? Your day one you explain, but their day one to think about quality engineering and get into quality engineering maybe today with all your insights. Thank you very much for being here with your busy schedule, and we invited you, you accepted, and we basically did the groundwork and we did discussions and all this, how to do this. And thank you for participating for all these at the same time. Thank you for being here today. And I need to uh, include I would like to thank, or I need to include my thank you list, Ranoli, Dimutu, and Ranoli is the solution analyst. She's working as a solution analyst in this organization, did a good job here in order to, present you this in a very effective manner. At the same time, our CWO, Dimutu Alahakon, and then Tepul Ginige, our Chief Academic Officer. So thank you very much for these guys. Did a very good background work actually from the beginning. All right. Thank you very much. I think, guys, you got a lot of insights out of this discussion. Thank you very much for joining. And if you have any questions, you can post it to the WhatsApp group, or maybe you can directly contact us. And thank you very much. All right, with that, we are going to conclude this the marvelous, excellent level of work. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you. All right. On behalf of Winhe Software Engineering Academy, good night. Thanks.